So, living in Kentucky, I figured it was about time I learned how to make biscuits and gravy. Guys, happy new week. Check out these biscuits. If they come out even half as good as they look, they're gonna be spectacular. Woohoo! Ding! So anyway, sorry. Apparently this isn't the week that I'll be looking better when I'm vlogging, but came back from the lake yesterday, put everything away, and went to the airport and picked up my friend Jessica that I work with, who is here for a few days to come and relax. We're going to be going to check out some of the sites later on today, just making some biscuits and gravy, and that is what is up. There it is, my gravy and biscuits. Woo! I also just realized, for my British friends with pink princesses, biscuits in the United States, I hope you guys remember, are different than biscuits in England. They're not cookies. That's why we have biscuits and gravy. They're like scones, basically, more or less. But these were like, normally they're super dense, and these were fluffy and delicious. And they were all Joanna Gaines' recipe, and they were amazing. We came out to Pewee Valley again. This is the church that's right next to the house that we used to live in that was haunted, as is pretty much most of this area. Okay guys, this is the house. It's super creepy, and every so often, supposedly, the guy who hung himself, they will see him hanging in the house, but people have bought it and redone it. I'd love to go talk to them and find out if they've had weird things happen, but it's very pretty. Chill. So this house here is also one from Little Colonel, which, let me get the front. They have little signs now. So this is Edgewood. If you guys are familiar with the Little Colonel or have ever seen the Little Colonel, it's a movie with Shirley Temple, but this is the Edgewood house, and the actual story of the Little Colonel, this is the home from Edgewood. But, okay, we're good, no worries. Just a weird lens flare. Anyway, this house, there is a ghost that lives in it that plays piano every night. This is the lady that lives here that when we went to the Christmas party told us, oh yeah, every one of the houses are haunted. Everybody has something that does something different, and hers plays piano while the one that lived at our house knocked and turned the lights off and on. Gross. Okay, y'all, here's the shorter version of the story of the house. So there's the house. This brick section right here, that's actually Josh's room. Oops, right there. This is the garage. When you make a left into this room right here, that's this first window that you see, that's the entry, and then right behind that's the kitchen. So I'm gonna tell you the story in a minute. And when I tell you that I heard people on the roof or knocking on the roof, that's the roof. And this slope part right here off of Josh's room, right there, that's where you heard the knocking. On that side there is a plastic skylight, and that's where the knocking came from. And I thought it was David throwing walnuts at the tree, but when I came outside, so I came out here and looked out here, all down this driveway, all here, and then all the way to the end of the driveway down there, that's where I saw David's lights. So I was like, oh, it's not him. Here's what happens. So Josh had been watching Ghost Adventures all day long. It was the beginning week of Halloween. And all of a sudden there's this weird knocking that happened on that skylight. And it sounded like he was throwing a tennis ball or something to hit the skylight. And I was like, Josh, stop doing that. And he was like, I'm not doing anything. And I was like, what? So I go into his room, and there he is sitting crisscrossed on his bed with his remote control like this. I'm not doing anything. And then you hear this banging. Doom, doom, doom. So I was like, oh, I know what it is. It's David being stupid. He's throwing walnuts at the skylight. So I walked outside just to see those lights come up the driveway. So David gets up to the top, and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, there's somebody throwing walnuts or something, or jumping on the skylight. So he goes up, grabs the ladder, goes up onto the roof, nothing there, walks all around the house, nothing there, come back inside, or he's like, no, there's nothing there. All of a sudden we hear it again. So he runs back around again. Can't hear it. We went inside, banging starts again, and then it just stopped. So we start eating dinner. All of a sudden, it starts again. And he was like, you know what? I bet it's raccoons. Give me a broom. So he grabs a broom and he goes up and goes boom, boom, boom on the right-hand side of where the skylight is. And then all of a sudden from the right-hand side comes knock, knock, knock from the ceiling over the skylight. It was like a little attic crawl space. So he was like, wait, what? So he does it again. And from the opposite side of the bed in that same crawl space comes doom, doom, doom. Just then, he's like, what in the world? So then he does it again, and it comes from the opposite side. So now it's like playing games with us. So all of a sudden he hits it one more time, and it comes from behind the garage. Now what you can't tell about that garage over there is it is a solid brick wall. It was a separately added piece. So the brick wall is about 4 bricks thick. And it just as clear as day, there's a knock on the wall. And we turn around, and now he goes and knocks on that wall, and from those windows, hang on, that is the door to the garage that was locked. Right behind this tree, which I can't see, there you go, there's the French doors. All of a sudden, I'm standing in front of the French doors, and the knock comes behind the French doors. So I go running back around to go outside and see what it is. Nothing. Still can't see anything. There's nothing there. I have no idea. Can't figure out what's going on. And there was just knocking. And it just continued pretty much for the rest of that night. And then the next day, David's like, he's like, oh, it's just raccoons. So the next day he goes up into the attic crawl space over there, and there's nothing has been moved. There was no sign of anything ever having been up there. There's like cobwebs, like it was nuts. So that was it. And then I heard it one more time on the old chimney that used to be in there at the end of the week, which was October 31st. And that was the last time I heard it. We moved out the following July, before the following October. And the year that I left Louisville and moved to Orlando is when I found out that they're right about this spot, actually almost where I'm standing here, because it was right about in the bend of the road, actually where Jessica is. There used to be a dance hall, and the lady, whose name is Dorothy, built the dance hall, sent the money for them to construct it for the parties that they used to have here for all the Confederate soldiers. On October 31st was the Confederate homecoming, so all the Confederate soldiers would come back to this place, which was the Confederate home, on October 31st. But Miss Dorothy, as she got older, stopped being able to come, and the last letter they sent to her before she died said, "You are always welcome here. The door will always be open. All you have to do is knock." Hey guys, so it is just Tuesday, and we just went to Huber's, and we're on our way to Polyfreeze, which I don't think I've ever vlogged Polyfreeze before. It's possible, but we're kind of going a different way than we've ever gone back, and it's really pretty, so I was just going to show you. Oh, P.S. For all of you who do come up here, we just found out that Huber's will give you for $6 a shipping box, which looks like this right there, so that you can take your wine with you back on the plane. You're welcome, Jeff! Yay!
T-Tone. What are you doing?
Number 8, Kohata's pass.
Good morning, guys. So football was great yesterday as usual, but we have an issue with their tires in the white truck. So guess what? Mama's driving the transformer. I gotta go pick up David. He's such a big vehicle. Well, Jeff, you thought I was redneck before? Joyous. So we're at the airport. Just brought Jessica in. She's getting on the flight, but she flew United. So, and mostly because it was less expensive than Southwest, because it was just kind of a last minute type trip. But here's the thing. If you come to the Louisville airport and you're flying anything other than Southwest, there is no curbside check-in except on Southwest, which kind of stinks. So David just helped her bring in that big case of wine. He's on his way back out. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Just FYI, I did not realize that. But yeah, nothing else has curbside check-in except for Southwest. So another reason to fly Southwest. Well, he sent my husband to the grocery store and he came home with these beautiful flowers for me. The best. All right, so today was a matter of getting the basement ready for our yard sale on Saturday. So that was a lot of that. Other than that, I've kind of done nothing, but that was a big undertaking. I'll show you guys in a little bit. Before I do, look at this beautiful rose that has bloomed outside of the guest room window. Just for Jessica. This window is my season window because you can see, well, now it's like super bright out there, but normally you can see that pretty, sorry, change it a little bit. The pretty dogwood out there, and as the seasons change, it just becomes more and more beautiful. All right, so you guys remember what this looked like, right? There was just stuff everywhere. First of all, well, it still kind of looks like it, but as you come around the corner, what? That's the anti-mold stuff, but this now only has one, and then here is all the things that are in the yard sale that when, now there's actually a pathway, but when the yard sale is over, all these things shall leave. Yay. All right, guys, so that's a wrap, and stay tuned next week. I might show you a little bit about the basement and the things that we've done there. But with that, I'm gonna say goodbye. We'll see you next week, and remember, it is all part of the plan. Good night.